Right, welcome to just a quick convo. Today we're joined by Jake Young.
Morning.
Thanks for coming on, mate. We are also joined by Kempy, our director today. Kempy, just show your face, mate.
No, honestly, stay there. You stay there.
Yeah. I'm going to cut that. So yeah, brief intro of you, Youngy, and our friendship. Our friendship began, similar to Kempy's 8 or 9 months ago. Start of the season, we both joined Stevenage. Our friendship began probably by you just battering me, taking the piss out of me, being mean to me.
Character building.
Yeah, that's if it works, mate. If it gets you mates, then it gets you mates. But yeah, that's how our friendship began. In all seriousness, it's grown from there, and we've become a bit closer. Brief intro of you. You weren't in the academy system until age 16?
Yes, 17, yes.
16, 17 when you joined Sheffield United. And since then you've gone on to play for a few clubs across England. In terms of your journey then, I think on paper others have probably had quite a bit of a head start. Lads like, even me, Kempy, probably been in the academy system since we're 8. And although that might not make a lot of difference in the long term, do you think that's given you maybe a bit of a chip on your shoulder since you've come into the professional game?
Potentially. I think it's good for me in the sense of I think I appreciate a lot more probably than potentially some do that have maybe been through the system and at good academies since they was 9-10 years old, and they've become accustomed to certain things. I think I've never had that. I've had normal jobs, for example, summer jobs when I was 15-16. I've been in non-league and just never really experienced that academy side of things. So I think the fact that I can kind of call myself a professional footballer and experience some of the things that I've experienced, I think probably makes me realise how fortunate I am, because I know that I was probably so close to not having this job, and it was never really a real option for me until, like you said, late teens. Yeah. So I think it offers me that, but I think on the flip side, it probably hinders me sometimes, like in the sense of sometimes feel like, have I just got a bit lucky? Do I necessarily belong here? Like,
Got to prove yourself.
Almost like I've sometimes got to prove myself double to what other lads do. Like, I look at, for example, take a Kempy that's kind of come through a top system. He's been at big clubs, and I think potentially, like, how am I supposed to compare myself or compete with someone that's been exposed to all that at a young age? And I'm kind of almost like, especially at the start of my career, it felt like I was playing catch up a little bit in that sense of just my understanding of football. I was kind of seeing it in a way that I'd never really seen it, and probably just felt like a little bit of a fraud maybe. And like, I think imposter syndrome is maybe something that bothers me sometimes in the sense of like, just do I really belong here? Should I be a professional footballer? Because I was, after knowing or being told that wasn't good enough from trials and things like that from all those ages, like,
it can linger maybe, the feeling.
Yeah, definitely, I'd say, yeah.
See, the thing is with like that chip on your shoulder sort of thing, I feel like it's a fine balance, because it can be a little bit unhealthy, like you said, with the imposter syndrome, and but it also is quite a good motivator. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, trying to prove yourself to you, to other people, is a reason to get out and work hard. But I think even, like with me, I'm similar. I'm so eager to always prove myself, but there's a fine balance, because you don't want to always do it for other people or ulterior motives. You want to be able to do it, intrinsically and for yourself as well. So in terms of your season last year, obviously I didn't know you then, but I knew the name because you had a really good start to the season. First 6 months at Swindon, probably one of the best periods of your career.
Cachren. Austin leaves it for Jake Young. Don't give him room to shoot, because he will do that! 10 goals now. Who now finds Jake Young. He could go left, he could go right, he could go on his own, and he goes on his own. And
you went from probably the highest high, and then in January you tore your hamstring. How did you then recalibrate? What were your immediate thoughts firstly, and then once you settled down, how did you rationalise those thoughts and sort of put together a plan to how you're going to return?
Yeah, I mean, going back to that hamstring tear, I was devastated. Like, I think I'd never had a major injury either. I'd had a couple ankle things here and there. I think most I've missed is maybe 2 games for injury through my career. So the timing of it, I just remember just thinking like, why now? I've had previous 4 years, whatever it's been in football. I think the season before I had a spell where I was out of the squad for a number of months, and I just remember thinking like, why couldn't it have been then? Why has it always got something like this got to come when things have turned a corner and I'm doing well? I can show what I do. Obviously, you're looking forward to what's coming. There's the summer transfer window. You feel like you've done well in the first half of the season. You're thinking, I'm go back to Bradford and kick on now, and then for that to happen, it was just like a dagger to the heart, to be fair, mate. And I just remember like I was gutted. Like I just remember just sitting there like didn't sleep for a while, like. And then off the back of that, I've then got to go through an operation which I've never done before. Like a lot of firsts for me in a time when I didn't need a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
I kind of it had been up and down for my last 12 months, and I finally found a bit of stability maybe at Swindon in terms of playing and getting into that rhythm, and then come back to Bradford and felt like I was going to have that there with a new manager, and I was looking forward to it. To then kind of find myself in that situation was tough, but I think just picking myself up and thinking, I think the biggest thing that helped me was looking at the season as a whole and thinking this time, I don't know, well at the start of the season, just say the week before I went to Swindon in the August, if you'd have said to me you're going to finish this season on 16 goals, 4 assists, you'll have played.
How many was that, sorry?
Just the 16, just before December. No, I think if you'd have told me I was going to kind of play 30 games, score that many goals and get kind of the personal accolades that I did, I would never have believed.
And the team.
Team don't matter. Had a bit in your hand off for it, so I think I had to kind of rationalise it like that. Like, yes, I'm not going to touch a football pitch now for the rest of the season, but I can still look back and call it a good season.
Be proud of it,
and be proud of what I've done. I think in the face dealing with what I had to deal with at that time and stuff, I think I could still be proud of it. And obviously then your brain switches to getting back and coming back stronger, coming back better, really. Yeah. So
and it's forward thinking from then.
Exactly, forward thinking from then. So I think once I turn that corner in my brain, I think you've got to allow yourself to have that time to be upset and
get frustrated,
be frustrated and all that stuff. But I think when you turn that corner, you just kind of then got to be in that forward thinking mode of getting yourself back and having that drive, really.
I always think that when I've experienced injury in particular, it's quite surreal that like first when it happens and you're thinking that's a step that I've done a million times, I've ran all season or whatever, and that one moment that you've done something, you've happened to get injured. And not to bore anyone, but there's a Kobe Bryant video. I think he was 37 at the time and he tore his Achilles, so he was out for over a year. In basketball, that's like one of the more serious injuries in any sport. And there's like a monologue that he posted online at the time, and it was basically that, like how he was in hospital on meds and high on meds, and he was just absolutely like letting all of his frustrations out. And it went on for quite a while. And at the end, he goes, one foot in front of the other. All I can do now is, think about coming back. And that's always resonated with me, is similar to what you said then, like let your frustrations out, say everything that you think, how unfair it is, how hard done by you feel, how upset you are, and then make sure you get to the point at the end where you think, right, one foot in front of the other, and let's move on now to the next thing and come back with the same sort of energy that you've been given for however long you've been doing it, the last 4 years, like you said, where you didn't have a serious injury. A little bit about you, I touched on it at the start. A big part of your personality is giving out a bit of stick. You do. Nah, I'm living as rent free, but you do love that sort of side of things. But, and again, don't get too emotional on that, but I think you are a good mate beside that. And you do also have a bit more of a caring, slightly more vulnerable side. There's a good balance to you in that sense. Is that something that you take pride in, and why is that important to you, to have both sides?
Yeah, I think the banter side, kind of being a bit of a clown and stuff like that, I like that, because I don't know, like I just think I could come in every day, like no matter how low the lows are, we've got the best job, we've got the job that every boy wants to do. So I think, how can you not come in and have a laugh and enjoy yourself? And I think fast forward to, I don't know, 15 years time when retired, like I'll know for a fact the biggest thing I'll miss is the changing room, the football changing room. So I just think, like, even on the days where I feel a bit shit, or I might have played bad at the weekend, we've lost, whatever, and I might be a bit flat, like I come in, like lads are always there to pick you up, and it just like I struggle to stay down for too long in that sense. Like I think when I'm on my own post games, that's probably when I'll struggle, because like there's no one there to kind of have that with. But then as soon as I come in, like I always feel better, and you kind of get onto lads. But then I think I do like to think that I've got another side to me, like you said. And people might not necessarily see that if they just kind of take me at face value and if you get to know me away from kind of maybe the training ground, or just on a one-to-one level. I think I'd like to think that people would say that there is more to me. I think the way I view myself is that if someone does really need something, or they need to rely on me, I like to think that they would feel comfortable with that. Like I do have people like my mates, like you guys, there isn't anything that I wouldn't do for you in that sense, and I hope that comes across through all the banter about your bum chin and your bad hairline. I can't do it.
Honestly, mate. Good job he's got those pearls underneath his t-shirt, because they are awful, mate. Honestly, good job he's put them away. There's a reason for that.
Hello? Are my beads blocking? Let me try and tuck these beads in.
Carry on.
But yeah, I think that's important to me. I think is you get a load of friends in football. You go into a change room, there's 25 new lads, you're going to be mates with the majority of them. But then in 2 years' time, you're not going to know them. But I like that.
Fizz.
What I was going on to say is you always pick a couple along the way that kind of you get to know that little bit more, and you will stay in touch with and meet up with. And I like that, obviously, because they're the ones that you know that you can rely on and stuff like that, and be a good friend type of thing.
We obviously had that like chat at the dinner table a few weeks ago with us three and a few more of the lads, and something I said then is even when I least want to laugh or smile, in my most like frustrated moments, you make me smile and laugh. And as frustrating as that is at the time, I wouldn't rather any other way, because I think you need that, especially in football where it's quite volatile. It can be very up and down with results and performances or whatever. Like to have someone like you to constantly sort of make light of a situation and not, take the piss or be less serious about the performance or result. But you do need that, like to reset and make light of a situation and realise, like you said, we've got the best job in the world and we're footballers at the end of the day. My own experience with that as well, I think that conversation we had with the lads, but also over the last year or so, I've come to realise that like a lot of people do want proper conversations and serious conversations. Like people want authenticity. They don't, there's a time for banter and stuff like that, but I think I underestimate how much people actually do like talking about serious things. And it's probably why I've started this, because everywhere I've been, I've made friendships, and the base of those friendships have been both sides of things, not just the banter. Do you know what I mean? We've been able to have proper conversations, and that's why I've started this. But keep battering me, because that also helps. Like I said, makes me smile and laugh. You, outside of football, you have a few different hobbies. You don't have to specify all of them. Some are a bit weird and wild. You can get into if you want. Depends how brave you want to be in front of the camera. It's all about vulnerability, so you give it a go if you want. How important is that for you mentally, though, to have other things, to entertain your brain outside of football?
Yeah, it's massive. I think I'm probably guilty of getting bogged down by it a little bit too much when I'm away from it on my own and stuff like that. I think I can get myself a little bit too down if I've had a bad game and that kind of stuff. So I think I'm trying to make more of an active kind of effort to try and really detach and make sure I do those things, because I've got the hobbies that I do, be it golf or plane watching or Lego.
Bird watching.
Bird's
in the animal.
I'll send you a pic. Bird watching.
And I'm going to insert a video of us playing golf the other day and a plane landing on the landing strip next to us.
Mate, is this? You're not often, you're on a little par 3, trying to approach, come in, little nip and tuck shot, and you see a little Cessna coming into land. It was special.
It was cool, but he reacted in a mad way. It was funny.
I think when I do those things, that's when I really feel myself detach and kind of forget. So I think the thing for me is making sure I do those things, because I think sometimes when I get myself bogged down, I just think, I felt like fuck it, I'm just gonna like sit here and fucking darkness watch a TV. But
it's hard to see how that would make you happy. Do you know what I mean? When you're not feeling the best, like you probably know that you like doing those things, but when you're not feeling good, it's hard to think, well, that's going to make me feel better because you're not in the right space.
Yeah, if I've I woke up and I know that I was below par the day before, we lost a game, and what that potentially means and stuff. But I think if I'm sat there and like, oh, maybe go to the driving range, like I just think how's that going to help? But once you get out there, it does help. So I think
especially
continuing
when
to do those feet. Yeah, you make me feel way better when you're shanking it left, right, and centre.
Oh, light the candle.
Straight down.
So I think it is important to have those things and detach from the football, but yeah, I think that's something I need to keep improving on, that I've been getting better at, and yeah, I think the socialising aspect and doing it with people and making other, I think you guys probably help me do that as well. Like you will say I might not fancy going out, but you say like, do you want to grab a coffee, and like I can't say no, so I come out and that helps. And I think doing that for your mates is a big thing, because they might not always want to detach and do what takes them away from football, so kind of encouraging to do that when they need it, I think is important as well.
Is that the main thing for you going forward, doing more of what makes you feel yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I think sometimes maybe I feel like not guilty, but I'll think, should I be, I don't know, if I go play 9 holes of golf, I'm like, should I do that, or should I be going to the gym? Or I almost feel, maybe like a bit guilty, or as if like am I cutting a corner here because I'm not. But no, like I feel I'm comfortable. I do enough stuff to better myself and in the game that I think, I'll better myself physically in that sense, that the mental side of things is just as important. So to go and do something like that and look after the mental side of things marries up with improving the physical side of things, and that's I think being okay with that and not having everything about football all day, every day, I think it is a good thing, obviously.
Something that I struggle with as well, it's like anything that's not football, you always have that thought, is this taken away from performance, or am I going to feel a bit more tired tomorrow if I do this? And I don't think you'll probably ever get the right balance, or ever get the answer of is it or is it not going to make me feel better, or whether the mental positive side of it will outweigh the negative. I think that's always a bit of a catch-22, but it's good to know that you're actually thinking about what you need to do to sort of make yourself feel better.
If I can jump in now on what you two have been speaking about there, what I'd say to you two both is like, you know what you're saying about finding the balance, and is that going to give me a beneficial
benefit?
A benefit to my football and my performance and stuff. But what I would say is switching off and going and play around the golf, or going for a coffee with your mate when you're not feeling so good. Playing devil's advocate, would that not have a massive mental benefit to you going into training the next day, or going into a game 2 days later, knowing that that's gone, that's part. I've had a good day with my mates, or I've done something for myself to make me feel massively good going into the next day. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, it's finding that balance, I suppose.
I think I underestimate that side of things. I think more about the performance and physical games. I think I underestimate how feeling mentally better can make you feel physically loads better. Even like sleep and things like that. Like even just getting a better sleep and feeling mentally better, and then all of a sudden you're more motivated to train. You're more fresh in your brain, and you want to, be energetic. And maybe you wouldn't do that if you, not done anything all day the day before and being lazy and thought, I'm going to just sit here and drown my sorrows if we've lost or something like that. I think I underestimate. I'm not sure about you, but I underestimate that a lot. How mentally good something can be rather than physically.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree.
Kempy, have you got a last bit of input or question that I've asked you to come prepared with?
I have.
Could be anything.
Yeah, it goes.
It was so tempting to go for something really banterish and say you had the best spell of your career last season. Was that due to me and living with me and everything like that? But due to this conversation, I've gone for. Obviously, we know you as like, I know how dedicated you are living with you, and how much you love football and how much you try to better yourself to be a better footballer every day. But my question to you is, what, like, just out of interest, and I think it'd be good for everyone to listen, like, what is your why? Like, why do you do it? And why do you do what you do? What is that motivation that you always go back to and go, no, this is why I'm doing it?
No, it's a good question, mate. I think there's a few reasons for me. I think number one is family, 100%. I think that's probably at the top of everyone's list. Like, I think the dream and the goal of being able to look after my family defeats all. Like, that's kind of the reason everyone does it. I think along with that, being able to kind of make my family proud, like when my mum kind of comes to a game and like I can see she's there, I'll score, and seeing videos of mum crying at a game because I've scored a couple of goals, like for me there's no better feeling like knowing that you've made your family proud, made your mum proud. Like that for me is probably the biggest thing. And then I think for myself, in the sense of what I mentioned earlier, where I've never really thought I was going to be a footballer, but I think when I was younger I thought it was easier than it would be, and in my head I was always like, I held on to that, I want to be a footballer a bit too long. Like you get to, I don't know, 14, 15 and like everyone starts to realise, right, I'm not in an academy, I'm probably not going to be a footballer, and they start looking at, and I remember always just thinking like, no, I reckon I can still, like I'm still going to try, like I want to be a footballer so badly that I think I look back to then, and I think the fact that I've kind of become a pro and done the things that I've done, like I know that I'd be buzzing with myself, and it's a lot of the time I kind of have those pinch me moments. I play against players that I was watching at that age. I play against players watching on TV, and I think, I don't know, that's obviously a big thing for everyone, but I think more for me because I think it was never really in the picture, or it was a possibility. Like I remember my mates just thinking I was nuts, like just give it up, mate, come to college, like think about what you want to actually do with your life. And I think the fact that I kind of forced it so much and it's actually coming to fruition, I think for me is like a bit of a proud of myself. So I just want to keep doing that and be able to say when I retire, look back on the career I've had and just think like I'm happy with that. I'm proud of myself. So I think they're probably the two main reasons for me. And then third, just dough, because I'm scared.
That's class. I think what I'd say to you with that is obviously like being your friend and stuff. I'd go back to that. You know when you say you have one of them days where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I feel like I've not done well yesterday, or I don't want to go out and stuff.
I was going to say I've had a stinker then.
Yeah, having a stinker. It's easy to go back to that why. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then the next day you're going, oh, you know what? This is why. Because I want to make my mum proud. I want to make my family proud.
Yeah.
I want to keep proving that no, I do deserve to be here, which you do. You know what I mean? It's easy to go back to them that why you're doing it.
Yeah, remind
That
yourself.
helps you get through the shit moments.
Yeah. Like I said earlier about putting one foot in front of the other when you've had a bit of a bad moment, you can only do that, like you say, if you've got a reason to. Otherwise you will spiral probably, and you will, you know, struggle to put one foot in front of the other, like I said. Youngy, that was
No,
that was
thanks,
nice,
mate.
Cheers, thank you very much. Thanks, Kemby.